Tokyo Disney's theme parks are some of the best in the world, and there are so many fun and tasty things to try in both Disneyland and DisneySea. So in this video, we're eating our way across Japan's Disney parks and sharing some of the top things you need to eat when you visit Tokyo Disney.
The first item on our list is probably the most popular item in both Disneyland and DisneySea, and that's Tokyo Disney's iconic popcorn. You'll find popcorn carts all over both of these parks, also in different varieties of popcorn. We couldn't get over how many different types of popcorn there are, ranging from cheese flavors all the way to curry popcorn and everything in between. And they all smell amazing. Seriously, we think they might be pumping in artificial smells or something, because the delicious smells from these popcorn carts can be smelled all over the park. We saw tons of people munching on popcorn in cute decorative buckets in the standby lines, so we knew we had to sample some ourselves. We swung by a great spot in Tomorrowland to pick up some warm and freshly popped goodness.
Alright, so we picked ourselves up a staple here in Tokyo Disneyland. This is popcorn. There's a couple different flavors here, but the main reason it seems like people buy this popcorn is for the souvenir buckets. There are so many different options, and we've seen them all over the park. I think the cutest we've seen is the Winnie the Pooh honey pot. That's our personal favorite, but we definitely don't have room in our carry-on for that, so we just went with the regular box. The flavor that we got was salted caramel. The other flavors were like strawberry Napoleon or something like that, and cheddar cheese. We're currently waiting for the parade to start. I'm hearing some things over the announcements, so maybe that's it. Obviously, you can see it's pretty windy here, so I'm gonna be careful not to spill this popcorn, but have a try. It's definitely pretty sweet. It's not overpowering. We just got news over the announcements that the parade is canceled, which seems like a huge bummer because a lot of people seem like they put their picnic blankets out really early. So I think they said Donald Duck is still coming through, but we got this popcorn to enjoy with the parade, but we might just have to admire the castle view instead. But yeah, definitely a nice little sweet treat for Disney. After catching the parade and waving hi to Mickey and all his crew, we knew it was time to venture on with our food tour. Next up, we're wandering over to the castle in Disneyland. No, not that castle, the newer one. Yep, that's right. Tokyo Disneyland now has officially 2 castles lining its magical skyline. Here in a quaint French shopping district, we stopped by to sample a classic Disney treat with an amazing view.
So we're in the French Village right now, and behind me you can see the castle from Beauty and the Beast. Believe it or not, this park actually has 2 castles. So there's the main Cinderella castle and there's Belle's castle. We picked up something that I think you can only get in the French area here. This whole area is kind of French Beauty and the Beast themed, and it is so charming with all the quaint little French architecture. We picked up, I think, an apple caramel churro. We've been seeing churros all over the park, but I think this apple one might only be found here in this French area. It's warm and nice, and I can't wait to bite into this. That is really good. It definitely has the classic churro taste with some brown sugar and a nice crunch to it, but there is a heavy presence of apple in there. And it's not so much like an apple sauce as much as it's like an apple paste or a cream, kind of. That's really nice. We just went on the Belle ride behind us, and it was probably the best attraction I've ever been on. I seriously have no idea how they had the mechanics of that whole ride work. I feel like you were actually inside of the movie. So I can't think of a better spot to eat a delicious churro than right here. So, what's not to love about a churro? If you're planning a trip to Japan, there's one thing that can take your experience from tourist to traveler, and that's learning a bit of the language, which is why we'd like to thank Rosetta Stone for sponsoring today's video. You don't need to be fluent, but just learning a few key phrases can make a huge difference in your trip. Imagine confidently ordering at a restaurant, asking for directions, or greeting someone in their native language. You can do this for so many languages with Rosetta Stone. Whether it's Japanese for your trip to Tokyo, Italian for a Roman getaway, or Spanish for an upcoming adventure, Rosetta Stone makes it easier to learn the way you naturally would. Unlike other apps, Rosetta Stone doesn't just teach you the words, it actually immerses you in the language. Instead of memorizing vocab lists, you learn naturally, just like you would if you were actually in that country. And pronunciation, that's a game changer. Their true accent listens to your speech and helps you sound more like a native speaker. So whether you're learning Japanese, French, or Korean, you'll feel confident speaking from day one. And now's the perfect time. Rosetta Stone's offering over 60% off their lifetime subscription, which gives you access to all 25 languages forever. And that's through both their app and on desktop. Click the link in the description to start learning today. Thanks again to Rosetta Stone. Now let's jump back to the video. Next on our Tokyo Disney food tour, we're heading to the Land of Tomorrow in Tokyo Disneyland. Here in the space-themed section of the park, you can expect to find all sorts of futuristic-style foods. So, amidst the roar of Space Mountain behind us and the ultra-fun pop music blaring from the Happy Ride with Baymax, we found an outdoor spot to sample some Pizza Planet quality food from one of the park's most unique eateries.
All right, so we tracked down the famous green dumplings that Tokyo Disneyland is known for. These are in Tomorrowland at this Pan-Galactic Pizza Port, I think it's called. I don't know if this is supposed to be like a version of Pizza Planet, but these guys are so cute. I'm actually not really sure if they have any filling. I guess I kind of expected them to be hot because they have the name dumplings, but I think they're cold. So I'm gonna go in with a fork. That's probably not the best way to eat them, but that's what we're working with here. Oh my gosh, they are so cute. Their faces kind of fall apart when you fork them. Okay, here we go. I wonder if it's like a mochi ball or something. I definitely got a surprise of what's on the inside. It kind of looks like pink frosting almost, so we'll see. Yeah, I think it is kind of like mochi or like tapioca. It's definitely super duper chewy. And the inside might be like a strawberry cream of some sort. Wow. That's super duper chewy. Yeah, I think it's strawberry cream. That is super, super fun. So just for some perspective, if you're looking to find these, they're across from the Star Wars ride, which we went on earlier today, and it was actually a whole lot of fun. So if you're looking for these, that's where you go.
All right, so we're working our way through these dumplings right now, and I took a bite, and quite to my surprise, this was chocolate on the inside. So I think there's a couple different flavors, and it's possible that all three of these are different flavors, but these are probably the cutest dumplings I've had, and they're pretty darn tasty too. That's good. So we picked up, I think, one of the things that you're supposed to get from this pizza joint. This is, I believe, a chicken calzone, and it is piping hot. This whole atmosphere here is so fun. It's probably the only space-themed pizza joint I've ever been to, and it's really fun in there. They kind of have an animatronic pizza factory up there, so there's one guy that's kind of controlling a bunch of equipment, and it looks like you have conveyor belts with cheese, you have things stretching the dough, so kind of really fun to see in there while you're waiting in line. We cruise through the line because there's self-service kiosks, so the whole ordering experience is pretty fun, and if you don't know Japanese, it makes it a little bit easier just being able to hit buttons and know exactly what you want to come out the other side. So I'm really excited to dive into this. It looks like it's folded really well here, so here goes. It is really warm and chewy and has that nice little bit of char on it, which you kind of expect when you cook something in a real pizza oven. And we've been in Japan for about a week so far, and we really haven't had much bread. The bread right here is, whoa, windy. The bread right here is what I'm noticing the most. I feel like there's definitely some nice tomato to it. There are some big chunks of chicken in there, but man, it's nice having bread. And it's just such a warm meal on a kind of brisk night here in Tokyo. So yeah, definitely not overly cheesy, but a really good calzone. Next on our food tour, we're heading to DisneySea's magical Arabian coast. Here, alongside the soundtrack of Aladdin, we're wandering this lively bazaar in search of something to fill our bellies. So we track down an Aladdin-inspired restaurant to serve up our next meal. We've wandered over to Sultan's Oasis here in DisneySea, and this place is just such a breath of fresh air. One, because it's so windy today, and also just because this ambiance is so cool. It feels like you're stepping right out from Aladdin, and this whole area has the nice Aladdin soundtrack, playing nice music, and the architecture here really makes you feel like you're in this whimsical Middle Eastern town. They do such a good job with this here. And DisneySea is notorious for its long food lines, and we saw there was a very short line here, so we feel like it was the perfect time to try this. This is called long naan. It's basically a long slice of bread with meat sauce in there, I think. It feels really warm, and for only 500 yen, this seems like it's a pretty decent price for amusement park food. So I can't think of a more authentic place to eat this than right here. So I'm gonna go in for my first bite here. Wow, it's almost like a French baguette with just that nice white flour taste, but it has meat sauce in there. It's almost like a kind of like a calzone, but more meaty. So definitely not a vegetarian meal. Yeah, the calzone would probably be the closest thing I can compare it to. That's really good. And really substantial too. This is some great fuel for a long day in the parks.
The next stop on our food tour takes us to one of the most unique areas in DisneySea. You might recognize this from our complete Tokyo Disney travel guide, where we cover all the insider tips to maximize your time in these parks and the area's most iconic rides. So be sure to subscribe to check that out as well. Anyways, surrounded by mountains and a bubbling lake, we're tracking down a delicious Japanese fusion food. After taking in the sights and sounds of this bustling area, we found a great spot to enjoy the scenery and amazing tastes.
All right, so we are probably in one of the most unique parts of all of DisneySea. This is the area around Journey to the Center of the Earth, and this entire world is based off the books of Julius Verne. So the main attractions here are Journey to the Center of the Earth, and there's also a 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea ride. And honestly, you feel like you are in the center of the Earth. There are just these mountains, caves, there's a submarine behind me, and you just hear the roller coaster screaming around you. So this is such an authentic spot to have a nice meal. And what we picked up is kind of a fun Japanese take on the dumpling. So these are called sausage buns, and I believe they're supposed to be kind of like elongated dumplings in the shape of hot dogs. We've seen tons of locals eating them, and they looked pretty good, so we figured we had to give them a try. So to order these, you actually descend down to water level, kind of near the submarine. You order them, and then we actually took them up here because the view is just that much better. So I'm gonna go for my first bite here. They're really warm. All right, they are sticky, and they stick to the paper there, but they have a really nice kind of fluffiness to them, it looks like off the bat. So first bite, here we go. That is really good. It's almost like a bao bun with how pillowy and fluffy it is. And there's a little bit of pork in there, and that's a really kind of soft, tender pork. It almost tastes like a dumpling you get at Trader Joe's, or if you've seen our Tokyo food tour, the dumplings we got when we were actually in the Shibuya area. Meat in there is really good, and with that cozy, fluffy bun, a great meal on a kind of brisk day.
Our next stop on our Disney food tour takes us deeper into DisneySea. This is the only park we know of that has this unique American-themed area. Nestled beside the famous 1920s New York area is another slice of Americana. And here, instead of having the grand brick buildings, haunted hotels, and bustling vehicles that the New York area is known for, it's a much quainter, charming American vibe. Here in DisneySea's Cape Cod, we've tracked down a classic New England staple from one of the area's premier restaurants. Beside busts of famous Americans, we placed our order and sat down for a dinner beneath the stars and lighthouse light. All right, we're currently in the area of Cape Cod. We definitely didn't expect this out of Tokyo DisneySea. Cape Cod seems like a very specific place for Americans to visit, but I didn't know that this kind of style is recognizable worldwide. So this was super fun to stumble upon. And we got some Cape Cod chowder to enjoy the ambiance. This is seafood chowder. I'm not exactly sure if that means it's clam chowder, but it looks pretty good. And obviously we have some cute little Mickey ears to go with it. I have visited Cape Cod once. In fact, every time I hear a Kelly Clarkson song off the Breakaway album, I think of Cape Cod because I went there in 4th grade and I listened to that album on my Walkman the entire time. So that definitely brings up Cape Cod memories. So this is bringing me back for sure. I'm gonna have a bite of this delicious looking chowder. Yeah, I think there's definitely clams in there. That's really good. We've actually been pretty impressed with the food here at DisneySea and Disneyland so far. It's definitely pretty salty, so expect that. I love salt, so anything that's overly salted, I think it's the perfect amount of salt. Yeah, that's really good. I'm actually getting like chunks of clam in there, which I didn't expect at all. I'm gonna go for a little Mickey bite. That's really hitting the spot. It's actually been pretty brisk at night here. It's been really windy. I'm not sure if that comes from the sea, but yeah, definitely brisker than expected here. So this is perfect on a night like this. And then obviously we had to get some American French fries to dip in our chowder. Very good. It's bringing me home.
So that's it for our Disney food tour. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and be sure to subscribe to our channel. We make videos from all over the world, and those two actions really help out our channel. We'll be releasing helpful travel guides and top things videos from Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka, and all over Japan, and from all over the world. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of it. Thanks, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.